Hi, I'm Tiffany with New Perspective Fitness, and in this session, we're going to focus on mobilizing the neck and the upper back to support optimal alignment. Improving flexibility and mobility in these areas enhances posture, reduces tension, and promotes ease in movement in everyday activities like smoother rotation, easier overhead reaching, and better alignment overall. We're going to begin a little differently today on a mat with a heating pack on our necks. So grab your heating pack and let's get started. We're down on the ground and we have our microwavable heat pack. You can also use a heating pad. And we're going to move into relaxation pose. I found that it's most restorative to have a pillow down on the mat. We're going to lie down and allow your feet to fully extend, and we're going to externally rotate our feet. Let our feet fall open. Now get a nice comfortable position with your heating pack. So if you want to wrap this around your neck fully or just have it draped down into the front of the chest, that's excellent too. Your palms are open, and this allows your chest to be open, and that is going to promote the most relaxation in this pose. I'm starting 5 minutes on the clock. At this time, begin wiggling your fingers and toes and bring energy from your limbs to heart center. Let's slowly go ahead and roll onto our side and then lift your body up. We're going to place our neck pack just off to the side. And now grab a yoga block and your peanut tool. We're going to release the fascia and the muscles of our neck at this time. So go ahead and lie down and then place the peanut tool right behind your neck. I'm at right where my hairline and neck meet. 2 minutes is going to be on the clock for this exercise. The peanut shape of this peanut roller is absolutely perfect for mobilizing the muscles along either side of the spine, yet avoiding direct pressure on the spine itself. So we're here, and you can hold the peanut tool and move it up and down the neck, or even just find a spot that feels comfortable for you, and then you can move your head from the right to the left and even do little nods, looking more up and then tucking the chin. If you'd like to move the peanut tool, just lift your head slightly and move anywhere along that neck. The goal of this movement is to loosen tight neck muscles, making movements smoother and easier. The pressure of the peanut tool prepares muscles and joints, allowing for a fuller range of motion in our exercises. We're boosting circulation to this area of our neck, promoting flexibility and reducing stiffness. And time. Good. Now that we've mobilized our neck, let's move on to mobilizing our thoracic spine. We're going to use our long foam roller now. So place the roller pretty much behind your shoulder blades. We're going to hold on to our head so we're not straining our neck here. And now gently lift your hips and let's roll forward and back. Now, to get all aspects of the thoracic spine, we even want to lean a little bit to your right and then a little bit to your left. Rolling helps to release tight muscles and fascia in the upper back, and we're relieving tension that often restricts movement. By loosening tight muscles in the thoracic region, it encourages better alignment, supporting more upright posture. And mobilizing the thoracic spine, this is our upper middle back, improves movement in the shoulders and the neck, and it makes it easier to perform other exercises safely and effectively. Now that we've mobilized this area, let's work thoracic extension flexibility. So I'm going to drop my hips down. I'm pretty much at the bottom of my shoulder blades, but we can play with this alignment. It doesn't have to be set in stone. From here, the hips are down. You're gently going to extend your thoracic spine, head, and neck. Try to look behind you now. And in a perfect world, you would have your hips touching and head touching, but most of us cannot accomplish that goal. If you want a deeper stretch, instead of holding on to your head, you may extend your arms over your head. To exit this pose, bring your hands back to your head and then slowly tuck your chin to your chest. We're going to take a few deep breaths, looking at the wall in front of us. Feel centered and grounded. And now slowly come up from this position. We're now moving on to side lying clock. So come on to your left side with me, please. Some of you will feel most comfortable having a pillow underneath your head, so this is optional. Our bottom leg is straight and our top foot and knee can rest on the roller. That's option one, especially if you're tight through your thoracic spine. The more advanced option is to have just your knee on. The point of using the roller is to keep our hips square towards the front of the room. With your top hand on top of your bottom palm, we're going to reach our right arm over our head. Our palm is down right now. Once you're over your head, you're going to flip your palm up. And then I want you to look with your gaze back at your hand as it opens up fully into this T position. Hold here for a couple of breaths, and then slowly take your arm over your head. When your arm is over your head, flip your palm down and return to the start position. So this is side lying clock. This movement opens up the thoracic spine and enhances rotational flexibility, and it's essential for upper body movement. When you get to that T position, stay here for a couple of breaths and then slowly retrace your steps. It's like we are making the top half of a clock. As you reach in a circular clock motion, this is stretching the shoulders and the chest muscles, and this can often contribute to tightness in the thoracic area. One more of side lying clock. Ensure that you're keeping your hips square to the front of the room, and we're just mobilizing through the head, neck, shoulders, and upper middle back. Staying in this position, we're now going to move into bow and arrow. For bow and arrow, we're going to pull our right arm back to our shoulder and then fall open into that T position, opening up the elbow. Bend at the elbow and gently glide back. These are mobility drills, and it's best if we move nice and slow. The pulling back motion opens up the thoracic spine, increasing rotational flexibility. to get the most out of this stretch, ensure that you're keeping your knee down and hips square to the front of the room as we open up through our upper middle back and look back at our hand in that T position, bend at the elbow, and return to the start position. Good. Now let's go over to the other side, and we're going to start from the top. Just ensure that you have plenty of space. So I'm going to move my equipment out of the way because you know we're going to be opening up into that T position. Lie down on your right side with your top knee on the roller. Remember, option 1 is to have your foot and knee. If you're tight, your knee may lift a little. As you gain more flexibility through the thoracic spine, you'll keep your knee down the entire time. So have your left palm on top of your right. We have head support if you'd like it. Take your top arm over your head. When you're over your head, flip your palm up, and then in a T position we go. Look back at your hand. Drive your knee down on the foam roller to create an opposing stretch. And then gently take your arm over your head. When you're over your head, flip the palm down and return to the start position. So this is side lying clock. When you open into that T position, when you're looking into the back of the room, hold here for a few breaths. And then slowly return, retracing your steps. So this exercise is encourage natural head and neck movement, promoting mobility through the thoracic spine, head and neck. Remember to keep your top knee driving down, especially as we open up into this position where we're looking at the back of the room. One more repetition of side lying clock. Now join me as we transition into bow and arrow. So we're just pulling that top arm across the body. Open up at the elbow joint, look back in that T position, bend at the elbow, and return. So this may feel easier on some of us because we've taken out shoulder flexion. So this is just mobilizing the upper middle back. It's still very important that you keep your top knee down and your hips square to the front of the room as you perform bow and arrow. This controlled motion fosters mindful movement, helping you maintain better posture and movement mechanics. One more repetition. Okay. At this time, we're going to push our foam roller just off to the side, and I need you to join me in the prone position. So we're going to be performing cobra back extension. Lie down on your stomach with toes pointed, and I would like your hands underneath your shoulders. Option 1 is baby cobra, where you press up and you can just keep your forearms down and look at the wall in front of you. If you have more flexibility for me, extend through the arms while still keeping your hips down. We're exhaling as we press up and looking up towards the ceiling, and inhale as you lower down. By arching the back, this movement counteracts forward rounded posture, and we're improving thoracic mobility. We're keeping our toes down. If you notice that your feet have a tendency to want to pop up, that is your butt muscle, your glutes, trying to overactivate. And we want to keep all of the work in our low back. We're working our rector spinae. Those are muscles along the spine. This movement helps to stretch tight chest muscles, shoulder muscles, and it further aids in spinal alignment and flexibility. We're exhaling as we press up. Look at the wall in front of you, or even skyward if you have that range of motion available to you. And inhale as you lower back down. Cobra back extension helps to build strength in the upper back while enhancing thoracic mobility and reducing postural stiffness. Let's do one more. At this time, we're going to take our one and only water break, and when we return, we're going to be in the supine position on our backs, and we're going to do some neck strengthening exercises. We're now going to lie down on our backs with our knees bent. Now, if you have forward head posture, you will want a pillow in this position. So what we did in this routine is we mobilized our neck and our thoracic spine. And at this point, we're actually going to do isometric head lifts to strengthen our deep cervical flexors. And this is going to promote proper head alignment and posture. Now, when we're down on our backs, we're not just going to have a neutral spine so that you can really feel this isometric brace and so that our body feels very strong. We're going to transition into an imprinted spine. So that means a posterior pelvic tilt. We have a small space in our low back, and I want you to tilt your pelvis into a posterior pelvic tilt. And then the movement sequence, while we're maintaining this imprinted spine, we're going to lift our head just an inch or two off of the ground. So there's a little space between my head and the mat, and we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Okay? So let's go ahead, imprint your spine, and for 30 seconds, lift your head. Ready, begin. And while you're doing this tiny head lift, we're actually looking directly to the ceiling. And you're feeling the work in the front part of your neck. These are the deep neck flexors. 10 more seconds. And rest. So put your head down. I am going to give you a 1-minute rest. So I just want you to rest and breathe deeply. So strengthening the neck muscles can alleviate discomfort and prevent tension from poor posture or prolonged sitting. Strong neck muscles help maintain better alignment of the head, and it reduces forward head posture, and it's associated with less stress on the spine. Ten more seconds. All right, second round. Again, to begin, imprint your spine. I need you to transition into a posterior pelvic tilt. Lift your head. Ready, begin. So we're just an inch or two off of the ground. Breathe deeply. Put your mental focus to the front part of your neck. That's what you're working here. 10 more seconds. And stop. Rest. I'm giving you 1 minute. Focus on breathing deeply and let your neck muscles relax and recuperate. So the adult head weighs around 10 to 12 pounds. And for every inch that it moves forward out of alignment, an additional 10 pounds of pressure is added to the neck. So a misalignment of just 2 inches in forward head posture adds roughly 20 pounds of extra strain to the neck and the upper back. Forward head posture stems from overactive neck muscles in the back of the neck and weak muscles in the front of the neck. So by strengthening the front of the neck, we are restoring balance and we're reducing strain on the neck. This is exactly why we're doing this isometric head lift. 10 more seconds of rest. Stop. Let's do our final set. I need you to imprint your spine. So go into that posterior pelvic tilt. Feel the brace through your core. Ready. Lift your head just inches off the floor. We have begun. Breathe deeply. Feel the work in the front of your neck. And stop. Great work. We're now going to move on to rhomboid squeezes, bent arm rhomboid squeezes, and I want you to lie on your foam roller. Now, if you have forward head posture, you're going to feel best with a pillow behind your head. The setup is to have our tailbone all the way to our head, supported on this foam roller. Arms are up to the ceiling and our palms are facing one another. Our rhomboid muscle is the upper middle back, right between the shoulder blades. Our movement is to exhale and squeeze the foam roller as we drive our elbows down to the mat, and then stretch the arms up. So as we do this move, we're hugging the foam roller with our shoulder blades, and feel your upper middle back, that is the rhomboid muscle and the middle trapezius, hug the foam roller. These muscles are firing and contracting. When we exhale and bend our elbows, feel the abdominal muscles contract and tighten. They will brace during that exhalation. Let's perform 2 more repetitions. Now, we're going to gently just roll off of our foam roller onto either side. Nice and easy. Let's push our foam roller off to the side, and we're moving into cat-cow. For cat-cow, we're trying to mobilize our thoracic spine, so the upper, middle back, and the head and neck. We're going to use a yoga block in between our knees, and this is going to stabilize our low back, the lumbar area. Remember, for cat-cow, we would like to cup our palms, have the shoulders stacked over the wrists, and the hips over the knees. Right now we're in neutral. Exhale, and I would like you to drop your head and round your back, transition into cat pose. And then inhale as you move through neutral and look skyward into cow pose. And your head is looking up. Continue at your own pace here. Exhaling when you transition into cat pose, drop your head, round the back. And then inhale, move through neutral and transition into cow pose, looking skyward. This movement gently stretches muscles and it reduces tension. We're hugging the yoga block to keep our lumbar spine stable, and this helps mobilize the upper, middle back, and the head and neck. We're increasing circulation with this movement, and this helps to mobilize the spine. It supports muscle recovery and promotes flexibility. Let's perform one more each, exhaling as we move into cat pose. Inhale, arch the back, move through neutral as you transition into cow pose, looking skyward. Excellent. We're now moving on to seated spinal twist. So in seated spinal twist, right now we're in staff pose. If you find that this is slightly uncomfortable, that your back wants to round, that could be from tight hamstrings. So you may sit up on a pillow. You just want to prop your hips. So this could be on a pillow or even a yoga block. If you don't need any assistance, we're just simply on the mat. Let's begin with bringing our right leg up, and we're going to cross that right leg over. Now, your foot may be flat, but it doesn't have to be. So if you're thinking, oh, only my heel can touch, that's fine. Place your right hand behind you and use your left arm to get leverage here. And now slowly look over your right shoulder. This is spinal twist. And we're mobilizing through the upper, middle back, the thoracic spine, and the head and neck. Breathe deeply. To exit this pose, I want you to release your left arm and turn a little bit to the left and then neutral. Now, let's take our left leg up. We're going to cross it over the right. Your foot may be down or maybe just your heel, because you're going to do what works best for your body. We're going to place our left hand down like a tripod or a kickstand, and then use your right arm to get leverage here. And I want you to gently rotate through the upper middle back and start looking over your left shoulder. To exit this pose, remember we're going to de-rotate and we're going to turn to the right just a little and then back to neutral. Excellent. To finish, we are going to move into seated side bend stretch. Again, you're either still on a pillow or yoga block if you need that for your hamstrings. We all want to be sitting up nice and tall. And at this time, we're going to place our right arm down, reach your left arm up, and simply imagine that you're pouring water out of your right ear. So side bend with me. So this is just gently stretching our side bodies. And by stretching and lengthening the sides of our body, this can really help with posture and compensatory tension. So one example is if you're really tight through your side bodies, this can cause more pressure on your hip flexors when you engage in movements such as bending or twisting. So by lengthening our side bodies, we're actually taking pressure off of the hips and the groin over time. Slowly come on up. Reach your right arm up, and then we'll bend. Imagine you're dumping water out of your left ear now. Breathe deeply. And slowly come up. So that is it for this session. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel more free and mobile through the neck and upper back. I'm Tiffany with New Perspective Fitness, and I'll catch you next time.